Hey guys, so I am back. I really am excited about this. I want to jump right in today with the foreword of Wizard. Again, I'm going to read the foreword and the preface of this book, and then so it can add some context to what's happening in these times, and then I'm going to switch to the autobiography and start with that. Foreword. Nikola Tesla was my father's uncle, and as such he was treated by our family much as any uncle might have been, who lived at a considerable distance and was advanced in years. But there were stronger bonds between my father and Tesla that might otherwise have been the case. They came from identical social backgrounds, sons of Serbian Orthodox priests, born and raised a few miles apart in the Austro-Hungarian military frontier district county of Lika in the province of Croatia. My grandmother was Tesla's sister, Angelina. They were the only members of a relatively limited extended family to emigrate to America, and they were the only members to undertake science and technology as their life's work. My uncle, Nicholas John Turbo, aka Nikola Jovo Trbojevic, was 30 years younger than his uncle. Tesla was already famous as my father was growing up, and he became a model for my father's technical career. Father held about 175 U.S. and foreign patents, the most important of which was his 1923 basic patent on the hypoid gear, used on vast majority of the world's cars since 1930. The hypoid gear introduced advanced mathematics to the art of gear design, much as Tesla's work united electrical theory and electrical engineering. Tesla henceforth proudly referred to my father as my nephew, the mathematician. That these patents brought considerable financial as well as professional recognition to my father was also not lost on the often cash-poor Tesla. What I've noticed when I have been looking into Tesla is that there's a group of people that defend him, and then there's a group of people that kind of just talk about him as this greedy person. They'll say, like, Tesla didn't want free energy. He was always complaining that he didn't get paid. And so part of the reason I think it's really important to read this foreword and preface is because you're going to see that that's like the way he was treated. Anybody would have been pissed. So that's kind of why I just think this is like really interesting. Because the ethnic and professional similarities between Nikola Tesla and my father were so striking, I feel that I've been granted a special privilege through this comparison in understanding Tesla's private personality, including his well-developed sense of humor and his often cavalier disregard for money. Once, when Tesla was visiting us in the early 1930s, my father took him to lunch at the Book Cadillac Hotel, then the finest in Detroit. They arrived later, only a few minutes before a cover charge of $2 or $3 would end. This was equivalent to 20 or 30 by today's standards. My father suggested waiting, but Tesla would hear none of it. They sat down amid a flurry of waiters, and Tesla ordered a chafing dish, bread and milk, and proceeded to prepare his own lunch to his own specifications, to my father's amusement and the unease of the maitre d'. I had not yet reached 13 when Tesla died in January 1943, and I did not have the sense of the ending of an epoch marked by his passing, both for our family and for an era of individualism and scientific discovery. I may have reflected with some uneasiness that I had the opportunity to meet Tesla some 3 or 4 years earlier, and that no further meetings would ever happen again. I remembered my reluctance to be dragged to the meeting in his suite at the Hotel New Yorker when my mother and I were spending a few days in New York before returning to Detroit after our summer vacation at the Jersey Shore. I would have preferred spending more time at Radio City Music Hall or at the docks watching the ocean liners. I was shy, rather overwhelmed, and spoke hardly a word to this very tall, very gaunt old man. I would have been repelled, as any young all-American boy should have been, to be hugged and kissed by this stranger if my father hadn't often done the same. This is the way my mother's women friends often acted, but my American mother's brother would have only given me a firm handshake. Little did I realize that Tesla's hugging, kissing, and patting my head would belie his famous idiosyncrasy of an overriding phobia of germs. Surely a young boy would have been teeming with germs. One could therefore speculate that this idiosyncrasy was possibly an affectation designed to preserve his space. While Tesla lived, some considerable degree of his fame endured, in no small measure because of his ability to stimulate the media. However, after his death, the nation and the world were occupied with other more pressing matters: war and reconstruction, international political realignments, an unmatched explosion of new technology, a new consumer society, and Tesla's fame and recognition nearly evaporated. Only a few in the U.S. and international scientific communities, and the abiding respect and admiration of Serbs and all Yugoslavs worldwide, kept his name alive. My awareness of a resurgence of interest in the life and works of Nikola Tesla began in the early 1970s, when I moved from Los Angeles, where it seemed no one had ever heard of Tesla, to Washington, D.C., where at least the name was recognized. In February 1975, my mother phoned to tell me that she had read in the Los Angeles Times that Uncle Nikola was to be inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame, and that I should look into it. I chanced to notice on a local TV program that evening a short segment monitoring the Hall of Fame and an interview with a girl of 10 or 12 who had invented a new can opener, or some such. I dismissed the hall as a commercial promotion and went on to something else. Only later did I read a newspaper account about the induction of Tesla along with Orville and Wilbur Wright, Samuel F.B. Morse, and Tesla's nemesis, Guglielmo Marconi, and citing the hall's sponsorship by the U.S. Department of Commerce Patent and Trademark Office. The closest living relative of each honoree was to receive the induction diploma at an elaborate ceremony. Lacking any Tesla or even any Trbojevic to represent the family, an officer of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the IEEE, accepted the Tesla diploma. The IEEE considers Tesla one of the 12 apostles of electrical science and continues to offer an annual prize in the field of power engineering in his name. When I presented myself at the patent office a few weeks later, they were delighted and made arrangements to make a second presentation of me at the 1976 awards ceremony held that year at Congress Hall in Philadelphia as part of the U.S. Bicentennial Year celebration. Since then, there has been an earnest revival of interest in the technological accomplishments of Nikola Tesla and his personality, philosophy, and culture as well. Part of the drama of his life is that he was a man who not only revolutionized the generation and distribution of electrical energy and made basic contributions to many other facets of modern technology, but that he did so without the specific aim of amassing great wealth. This altruism, which is often criticized as poor business sense, imposed a monetary limitation on future experimentation to test his new innovations. Who knows what advances might have been possible if he had been able to validate them through rigorous experimentation. New science is an expensive endeavor, and finding financial support is a frustrating task for even those as focused as Tesla. Among the associations that have supported the Tesla Renaissance are the Tesla Memorial Society, which I helped found in 1979, and of which I am pleased to be its honorary chairman and chairman of its executive board, and the International Tesla Society, founded in 1983, and of which I am a life member. It was while speaking at the first ITS biannual Tesla Symposium in 1984 that I first met a fellow speaker, Dr. Mark J. Cypher, in person. His paper, The Lost Wizard, was the seed from which his new Tesla biography has sprung. I've been impressed with Dr. Cypher's dedication and scholarship in developing his early theories into a well-rounded examination of the mystery of Tesla's great genius. One of the things that has most intrigued me about a new work on this topic is how much new information keeps surfacing. Dr. Cypher has researched minor characteristics in Tesla's life as well as the many major ones. This has given him additional insight into Tesla's life and allowed the development of new and different interpretations of many important events, such as the failure of the Wardenclyffe Tower project. Dr. Cipher provides a new look at Tesla's college years, the time when many of his epical ideas were forming. He has uncovered new information on Tesla's relationship with a number of key individuals, such as his editor Thomas Comerford Martin, and financial backers John Jacob Astor and John Hayes Hammond. A great strength of Wizard is its adherence, chapter by chapter, to a rather strict chronology, which makes it easy to follow the breadth and scope of Tesla's life and achievements in an orderly fashion. I congratulate Dr. Cipher on a decade's journey with Nikola Tesla and am pleased to introduce you to Wizard. William H. Turbo, Honorary Chairman of the Tesla Memorial Society.